You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
Feeling fresh as hell.
Well, you guys better enjoy it. The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Do this together. Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wolldog, sitting with my buddy, Kev Huggin Duggan.
Hey, guys. How is everyone on this fine day?
We're all doing great, I guess. Me and the
Speaking it out
mouse
into
in my
the,
pocket.
Cars and ear pods all across the world.
That's true, yes. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic day. We've got another great episode lined up for you folks. Plenty to talk about with, as always, in fan focus and a Bolt insight lined up. And as always, an Ask Boltfam.
Fam?
But as you notice, there's just the two of us yet again, but fear not. I know some of you are worried for the coach's health and safety and well-being and everything like that. Let's go to Coach, who's live in his car. Coach, how are you?
What's up, Charger Chat family? Still here, still alive. Baby boy's good. Just surviving the bigger kids. There's no family dust up as to why me and Kevin, we didn't get any irreconcilable feud. I'll be back, I promise. Probably next week. Right now it's just family time, bunkered down. 3 kids is no joke. Anyone out there that has multiple children, I know Kevin does, and he's probably going to be like, oh, I have 4. But it's a lot of work. So I'll be back, ready to go. I miss you guys. Hold it down over there, Kevin, Wolldog. Love you guys. Bye. Kid, love you. Bye.
There it is. Utah, give me 4.
Utah, 4. Yeah.
So Coach has just had, he's had some real life business going on. Obviously, having a baby being the big deal, and
Kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. So now he's got other dadly duties to attend to. So
duties is the key word.
No doubt. Let it rip.
Let it rip.
All right. Well, let's get into the nitty gritty. We might actually see Coach pop back in for Ask Boltfam. So if you thought that was the only time we were going to see him, fear not, my friend. He will be back.
He will be back.
He will be back. All right. Well, let's talk about our diehard Bolt Club family having themselves a heck of a BBQ, as I see in some of the pictures on Twitter.
Yeah, they all went up to Ventura and got a whole bunch of the chapters together and had it look like an amazing time. I am so jealous that I couldn't be there and experience that because it looked like a blast.
It looked like a very good time. A great turnout, too, by the way. I don't know how many different Die Hard Bolt Club chapters showed up there, but
it's a lot of flags.
That's a big crowd. Yeah, a lot of DHBC flags a-flying. And what else was a-flying was this this piñata that was very well decorated and lifelike, honestly.
Very lifelike. I feel like we should probably let everyone watching this YouTube see it.
Let's see if we can cut to it here real quick.
Let's do it.
I mean, come on, folks.
That is quite the piñata. Quite the piñata.
That is amazing.
I've never wanted candy so bad in my entire life. Like, I want to destroy that to get that candy. Yeah, like that's apparently there was this picture got posted around Twitter and some Raider fans saw it and weren't too happy.
No,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so you know, I I love the creativity, A for effort.
Absolutely.
I wonder what kind of candy was in that. Probably just a lot of like Hershey's Kisses, just a lot of little shits. It seems like something that would come out of him
rolls,
when he's threatened with aggression. Yeah, some Tootsie Rolls and Hershey Kisses.
That's awesome.
And we might have a little video coming. Our buddy Justin Savercool is shooting some video for us of all these events that we can't make it to. So we have something coming in the next few days. We'll get a little world premiere of the Die Hard Bolt Club barbecue. So we'll see what happens.
Awesome. That is going to be great. I can't wait to see that. I've obviously seeing everybody's photos looks like a great time. Obviously seeing the camaraderie of everybody and coming together and just enjoying a barbecue in the off season is fantastic. But getting a chance to see some video, some people hooting and hollering.
If you want to see a piñata get destroyed in slow motion,
yes,
it's coming.
I can't wait.
Silver and black flying everywhere.
Mascara flying everywhere.
Mass hysteria.
All right. Well, awesome for the Die Hard Bolt Club. Hey, folks, just one more reason that if you felt, if you're on the fence of like, I don't know if I want to sign up for the Die Hard Bolt Club, do they do barbecues? They do barbecues, folks.
They do.
They do.
Do they have sick-ass piñatas? Yeah.
They do.
They have that as well.
So definitely check it out, and we'll let you guys know when we get the video posted from that BBQ. Looking over at Twitter. All right. I understand it's the off season. We're struggling to find things to talk about. This just feels a bit much, right?
This guy, Chris Canty, is also struggling to find things to talk about because this is just the ultimate in trolling technology.
It seems a bit far to pick two guys that are on the same team, but Chris Canty ranked his top 5 most overrated players in the NFL, not just offense or defense, overrated players. You've got Dak Prescott, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Khalil Mack, and Derwin James.
So this is in my opinion, this is a stupid category because this is the most injured players recently. Mm-hmm. That's what this list is. People that are recently coming off injuries or have had them in the past. Because I don't get this. Other than we are very good. Like I've said before, we're very good on Twitter about chirping back at people that, mess with the powder blues. So maybe he's just trying to trigger some Charger fans because it feels like it. 2 Charger fans on this is a little silly, especially Derwin James. What are you talking about?
It's extremely clickbaity. And you can make the argument like these are the top 5 most injured guys that still play amazingly well. Like, it's not like you've got these guys on your team and they're just like sucking ass. Like these are guys that actually perform and put up the numbers.
Yeah.
So why would you consider that to be overrated? Is it just because they're not on the field because of the injuries? Like that just seems
it
stupid.
doesn't make sense.
It's very clickbaity. So Chris Canty, enjoy your clicks, you jerk. But on to some better news over on Twitter. Breiden Fehoko, fan favorite, Breiden Fehoko, recently got engaged. Tweeted out a picture of him and his fiancée. RIP to all the future golf trips that are going to be canceled because of husband duties.
Well done. We're proud of you, Breiden. Great job.
Well deserved, yeah. I mean, we don't, it's one of those things, like sometimes we see, we can't avoid to see some of these players' wives, like Patrick Mahomes and his wife. Like it's just gives a bad name, I think, to all wives everywhere. But very, we need more of this. We need more good news, good vibes. We need more from the wives out there. Yeah,
cool wives or Charger wives or cool wives. So
absolutely,
you know who you are out there, and that includes Charger fans' wives as well. There's a lot of cool ones 100%, out there.
100%. Talking to you, Josie and Hillary. Y'all know.
Represent.
Y'all know what's up.
Hold it down. Hold it down.
All right. Well, if you're feeling like a good Charger wife, you should head on over to chargerchat.com. Check out some of the sweet stuff we've got over there. T-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. And we've got a member section where you can chat it up with other Charger Chatteteers and other Charger Chatteteers wives and ask questions and Ask Boltfam. So go check it out, chargerchat.com. All right, gang. Well, now it's time to go on to the next segment. It is Bolt Insight. I am excited to hear the accent of this person. Bring it on.
We're going down under.
As soon as that clock starts, your ass is mine.
When I met Justin Herbert, man, that dude is big as hell.
The goal is to just keep it rolling.
Come in hype because we have a lot of things to be excited about.
All right, guys, we're back with another Bolt Insight, and we are super lucky to have Alister from Thunder Down Under podcast. What's going on, man?
Hey, Kev. How you going, man? Thank you very much for having me on, and I'm looking forward to chatting a lot of Raiders with you and how much we hate them.
FTR, family, trust, respect, my friend. Dude, this is awesome. I love meeting new podcasts, and you being from Australia, even cooler, because I say this all the time. The accents make it sound so much more important. I don't know what it is. There's something about it.
Good.
When you say something, I'm like, I'm going to lean in a little bit. I want to understand a little more of what you're saying. So I love it. I love that you guys are rocking and rolling with your new podcast. But before we get into that and find out a little bit more about you in that respect, let's find out how you became a Charger fan.
Sure. And it's a good question to ask, right? Because we're on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
But we do get exposure to the NFL because we have a lot of punters who leave our local league, the Australian Football League, different sport, but some similarities, and go over to the States. Of course, most famously, Darren Bennett.
Yeah, my favorite punter of all time.
What a guy, what a punter. So we do get exposure, and it's on television here too. So me and my other podcast buddies, Jack and Andy, we started following the sport in 2007 or thereabouts, about 15 years ago. And each of us came to the team in our own different ways. I mean, for my part, I remember I think it was the first game I watched was a Chargers game. And I just saw something about that funky release that whoever was under center for the Chargers had thrown the ball. Man, it didn't look natural. It looked weird.
Never did.
But it was damn accurate, right? It was. And I think the team was wearing the powder blues on that day too. And it's just the best uniform in all of sports. And I think also I was a big Anchorman fan, and I remember San Diego, and I thought this was my team, San Diego Chargers. And, the rest is history. So they say we're now 15 years later, we've got our own podcast off the ground, and we follow the team way too closely, or so our fiancés all tell us, right?
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yeah. So that's my background, Kev.
That's awesome, dude. And then I want to say that the podcast name is so perfect. Like it makes so much sense. It's just like one of those. It's just like, why didn't somebody name themselves this before? This is absolutely perfect. It's like meant to be. So, tell us a little bit about, what you guys are doing over there, at Thunder Down Under podcast, and what kind of, because you guys are on earlier kind of stages. So like, what are your goals? What do you want to try and do with the podcast?
I know. And as you know, we have a sort of a saturated market going on in Chargers podcast.
You got a lot of them, man. It's amazing.
They're all over the place. I saw there was a Blitzkrieg German one the other day. Yeah. And, but we've been listening to podcasts since we got into it, right? And originally cut our teeth on listening to the Lightning Round, and Locked On Chargers. And now, of course, what you and the guys have been doing, which is great. And what our goals are really, firstly, just to do what we love and have a great time talking about it.
Totally.
We each bring different experiences to bear. So some of us are really into data and statistics, that kind of, film analysis. We also like to inject a touch of humor with our kind of Aussie style and kind of sarcastic style of humor. And I think that's where there's some similarities, Kev, with what you guys do. And that we try to learn bits and pieces off each podcast, and we really love the way you and the guys just have that chemistry and a bit of banter. So
we've been talking shit to each other for a very long time.
Oh yeah, and not all of it recorded too.
No,
right?
just recently we started recording it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So in terms of big goals, who knows? We're 6 episodes in. We thought we'd get started in the off season around the time of the draft and analyzing the new players on the team and all of our expectations. And as we approach the season, because we've taken a little break for the time being until the end of July, we'll get into a weekly routine where we're breaking down games and having guests on the show to join us for segments. Kev, just a heads up for you and the guys, and just have a lot of fun. Yeah. That's the biggest goal. Have a lot of fun and spread the love for what should be the best season we've ever had is what we all hope.
It's an exciting year, and I love this. What's happening now with like just the amount of content you can get as a Charger fan, because you being from starting in 2007, there really wasn't that much, man. It was very few, far between. We'd get ESPN, we'd get NFL not even NFL Network back then. There wasn't a lot, and most of the time they were talking shit about us.
That's right. There's Eric Williams, a few other guys. I know John Gennaro on Bolts from the Blue. I mean, I've followed some reporters. We all did, but you're right. It was
the general.
We weren't not a big market.
No, and we weren't
not a lot of national attention.
You couldn't kind of get into it and have fun with it. Really, it was always just kind of oh shit, wait for the game to be over, then get some people to talk about us. And now it just feels different, and it just feels like this kind of community that's coming together. And it's at the perfect time because we're starting to catch our stride as a team. Big things happen this offseason. So what are your thoughts on kind of the status of our fan base? Because we've been people give us a hard time that we haven't had the best turnouts. We don't have the best fan base, which is absolutely changing. What are your kind of thoughts on where we are, the status of our fan base?
I think we're a growing fan base. That's my estimation. I mean, clearly you've got a competitive market in LA, lots of sporting teams, some having recent success. It's a difficult market to break into, but once you have someone like Justin Herbert as the face of your franchise, I think it gives you a fighting chance. You see the recent jersey sales, right? I think it's top 10. Justin Herbert's in there.
Yep.
So if you can get those young fans on board, and winning helps that, of course.
Absolutely.
I mean, people are drawn towards winners, and I think the team has a good chance to start winning consistently with the current combination of a franchise quarterback and what I think is an absolutely elite head coach.
Yeah.
Should see, the days of quiet stadiums and no one in the stands and being outnumbered by away fans. I hate that.
I hate it so much.
Hopefully that's a thing of the past.
Yeah,
and we've got lots of fun things to look forward to.
100%. And it's an interesting point you make about Justin Herbert, because we talked to a lot of fans in our fan focus segment, and a lot of them became fans when we had LT. So it was like this, a lot of fans came in for LT, and now feels like a kind of a redo of that, where it's people are being introduced to the Chargers because of Justin Herbert and how exciting he is as a player.
Yeah, superstar players attract fans. LT you spoke of, for me, it was Rivers. Just loved Rivers and Gates. And, there are a lot of other superstar players in the Chargers organization at the moment. It's not just Herbert. We've now got Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa.
It's an embarrassment of riches.
Jackson.
Embarrassment.
You forget Keenan,
Yep.
Eckler. It's wild. It's just guns all over the place, and very fun to watch and talk about.
So what's the fan base like in Australia? Because we are always interested to see what it's like, NFL teams in different countries. What's the fan base and the kind of energy like for Chargers down under?
Yeah, there are Facebook groups for NFL fans down here. So there is I would say that, again, there's a growing kind of audience in Australia, because the NBA tends to rule the roost in this country. It's more popular. I don't know if that's a throwback to Luke Longley and other players who've come from, and more recently Ben Simmons and others. But NBA has a stronghold here, but I can feel the NFL popularity growing. And you just see Aussies popping up all over the place on Twitter, Chargers fans. We found out from our podcast, we have Aussie guys reaching out saying, I never realized there were other Aussie Chargers fans.
Awesome.
So, which is cool. So we're kind of hoping we can be some kind of magnet as well that attracts and grows the sport here. But there's a way to go. We're behind some of Europe, and Mexico obviously has a big following. But we'd hope to have a game here in Australia one day. I mean, in my city of Melbourne, we've got what I think is the best sporting stadium in the world, the Melbourne Cricket Ground. And I'll tell you what, if we had a game in Australia, I'd be trying to rabble as many troops to attend and tailgate as possible.
There you go. And they added Germany this year, so why not Australia? Let's just do it. It makes sense. It makes sense to me.
No arguments from me, Kev.
So, I always kind of want to find out, because we're getting closer to the point where, our favorite things come back. Tailgates, the pregame, all that stuff we do. Look, people have different kind of rituals and kind of things they like to do before these games happen. Do you have any odd or interesting things you like to do, or what's your pregame ritual like?
It's so odd, Kevin, because
yes,
so odd.
I'm excited.
Here in Australia, to watch the games live, it's on a Monday in Australia, because we're a bit ahead of you in the States.
Yeah.
And often it's right in the middle of the working day. So if you're a diehard like me and you want to enjoy the game unspoiled, you spend your Monday doing everything you can to avoid spoilers.
Yes.
You're off your phone, you're off social media. When your work colleagues know that you follow the team, you even don't talk to them. You're just worried someone's going to come and ruin it for you. So what I do is I avoid all day. And then as soon as it hits 5 p.m., I'm out the office door, sprinting home, pick up a bunch of beers, and I drive over to my mate Andy, who's the host of our Thunder Down Under Chargers podcast. And we'll hit on Game Pass and we'll just start on hitting play, pausing where necessary to fill up our drinks and swear at the TV and throw stuff, kick the dog, whatever's happening, man. And yeah, we feel bad for our poor girlfriends who have to put up with this, but they know this is our thing now. And Mondays are sacred. We watch, we overanalyze, and we enjoy it. But do tell me more about your tailgating experience, and what are the highlights of a San Diego back in the day tailgate experience? Because that's our goal, to come to the States and learn and tailgate one day.
Yeah, so like San Diego was great. It was a different kind of energy because it was a huge parking lot, like monster parking lot. So everything was all spread out. When you come to SoFi, the Thunder Alley is it's so compact. It feels like it's like a rock concert. Like there's music everywhere. There's Charger fans everywhere. People are just handing each other like Jello shots. Like everything's going. It's out of control. So when you do, I'm assuming there will be a time when you will make it over to SoFi. You have to go to Thunder Alley.
Awesome. We will. Our goals. We've always wanted to come over to the States. It's just picking the right time to come to a game. No better experience or excuse to come over if the Chargers are on a deep playoff run, right? If you're talking AFC title or Super Bowl,
it might be worth
there.
getting
it's
over.
It's our bucket list.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You get home field advantage. That might be a game worth going to for sure.
100%. No, it sounds awesome. Would love to attend a tailgate one day, man.
Awesome. Well, then let's kind of wrap it up with kind of the draft. The draft happened not too long ago. Some of the players that we picked up, who do you think is going to have the most immediate impact on this team with the guys that we just picked up in the draft?
Sure. Probably the two that immediately spring to mind: Zion Johnson, obviously, because he's expected to start.
Yeah.
Where, who knows? It seems like it might be right guard. I personally wouldn't mind him playing in his natural college position, left guard, and having Filer swing out to right tackle, but see if he can handle it early in his young career. So you expect him really to step in and contribute immediately. And if he can't, there may be an issue with that line, and it will be something to watch. And then the other obvious one is Isaiah Spiller, just because last year neither Roundtree nor Kelly nor Jackson really grabbed that position by the horns, right? So he has a chance to come in and be a bigger back who can contribute and spell Eckler so he can get a bit of rest, but hopefully still have 20 touchdowns would be good. So they're the two main ones. And then JT Woods has an opportunity, obviously.
Yeah, he'll be. I think he's an exciting developmental player, and we'll see where it goes. And it's kind of weird because we have this kind of we were talking about the defense, the embarrassment of riches element, where it's like we're drafting guys that are just going to be sitting and hanging out and learning from these first stringers that are. It's a pretty scary looking defense we got going on right now.
Tell me about it, man. And how different is it? Something I've observed is in the past, Telesco would draft guys early from small schools to contribute straight away as starters. And it seems like we're moving right away from that kind of approach. Suddenly you have guys drafted in the later rounds from bigger schools like a Jamari Sawyer.
Yeah.
But they're coming in and they don't need to hit the ground running. They can learn from an established veteran presence as they grow into the role. And that's exactly what you want if you're going to have a pipeline for a good team. You want to not be asking too much of young players. And if they produce, great, but you can't be relying, or you see what happens every now and then, it doesn't work out. You might have a Kenny Murray who's a bit slow to hit the ground and contribute at the NFL level, and then your team's in big trouble.
Sure. Yeah, I think there's a big, the different college conferences, it's a big deal playing in some of the bigger ones when you're always going up against guys that are going to get drafted. So I completely with you on that aspect. I'm glad Telesco's taking a little detour from the the North Dakota or the South Dakota.
That's right.
Like, okay,
Nebraska and
all those. So it's exciting. So all right, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And then let's figure out. I want to get a little bit more of like people listening to this, how they can check you out, where they can follow you, all your stuff.
Yeah, the plug. Well, it is hard to get off the ground. So if you've liked what you heard and you're interested in hearing Aussie guys chew it up about the NFL, first you can find us on YouTube, and it would really help us out by subscribing to our channel, which is the Thunder Down Under Chargers. We're available on all audio platforms, wherever you like to listen to your audio podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And if you want to follow us and get involved on Twitter, you can find us at TDU_Chargers. And we're always there having a good time and chewing it up with Chargers fans.
Awesome, man. Well, it was such a pleasure having you. And maybe we can come together. We get the 3 Charger Chat guys, the 3 Thunder Down Under guys, and have a crazy 6-way podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. And just thanks very much, Kev, for having me on. And I know the guys really enjoy the stuff you guys are doing on Charger Chat. It's funny. It's informative. So keep up the great work.
Likewise, man. We appreciate it, and good luck with everything. And we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thanks, buddy. Go Chargers.
Go Chargers.
Well, crikey, Alister, that is that is a lot to digest, and man, it is so awesome to hear how Kevin asked, like just how people from outside of the country become fans of a very specific team, like not just a fan of the sport. This is my team. I'm picking this team. And he picks it because of the way Phil Rivers throws his ball.
Yeah. That's how people find this team, man. It's kind of the common thing we found is a player. Somebody brings them in, or like Darren Bennett led them to find, led Alister to find Phil, and then it went from there. So it was cool. It was great meeting him. They do an awesome job. It's fun listening to their podcast. They do a great job over there, and they're really funny. So you guys should go check them out.
Alister, thank you so much for coming on and chat with my man Kev. Let's move it on now to the next segment. It is Fan Focus. What fan is it?
I'm not telling you.
Fine.
You have to wait and see. Well,
God.
Jeez. All right, guys, we're back with another Fan Focus, and we're super excited to have Bill from Oregon. What's going on, Bill?
Oh, not much, Kevin. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited to meet you. I love meeting longtime Charger fans, and you have a seasoned history of being a Charger fan. So let's kick it off with that, man. How did you become a Charger fan?
Okay, so I've been thinking about this a lot. When I was a little kid, we lived in San Diego. And my dad had season tickets to the Chargers back when they were the AFL days. And I remember him coming home like every Sunday, and he'd bring home a program, and I'd study that, and I got to know some of the players, some of the teams, and so I got to like a guy out of San Diego State by the name of Jeff Staggs. You ever heard of him?
Yeah, I recognize the name for sure.
Yeah, so I follow him. So a couple of years later, I used to go to the Adams Avenue Recreation Center, and one day we got a chance to go down to San Diego Stadium and meet and play football with these guys.
Wow.
So what they did, it was cool. They said, okay, who wants to be a quarterback? Raise your hand. And we went with the quarterback. And of course, who wants to be a linebacker? Because I know my buddy Jeff Staggs was there. I raised my hand then. So it was way cool. And then I got into it deeper as Don Coryell. When he first started, I just knew that they were going to go places. And I became a hardcore Chargers fan. And then so joined the military. And there was this guy who he was from Miami, and he was always talking smack.
Okay.
So then they had the Epic in Miami, and I had quite a bit of smack talking.
I love it.
After that, it's just been every year I've been there through the good, the bad. Never say I'm a long-suffering Chargers fan. I'm a diehard Chargers fan, period.
I love it.
And that's how I became one.
I love it. That's fantastic. And then, what are your thoughts? Because you've seen it all. Your kind of thoughts on, the different kind of eras of Charger football. Like, what was been kind of one of your favorite eras? Take away what we have right now, because we'll get to that. But everything leading up to like the Justin Herbert LA Chargers, what has been your kind of favorite era of Charger football?
Well, the Coryell era for sure. And then going up in the Bobby Ross, even though it was short, when Coryell started, I remember, I just thought to myself, we're going to go somewhere. And I felt the same way during the Bobby Ross era. It ended too short, but it was there nonetheless. And I feel the same way with Brandon Staley.
Yeah, there's just like this confidence that he gives off. Like, I just feel like super, like we're in good hands. You know what I mean? Like, good things are going to happen because the right guy's at the helm.
Right.
And talk a little bit about, it's kind of fun. You're in Oregon, close to the, where Mr. Herbert himself, came about and played his football in college. What are your thoughts on us having some of our better quarterbacks have come from Oregon, like the idea, like Dan Fouts and Justin? What are your thoughts on kind of the Oregon football coming to the Chargers?
And North Turner did too, but
that's right.
Yeah, and I've seen Justin play at the high school level. Wow. I've watched him play at the college level, and when everybody was like, "Oh man, I want Tua," I was on that boat for a minute because I was worried about Oregon quarterbacks, other than Dan Fouts, not doing too well, like Joey Harrington, Akili Smith, et cetera, et cetera.
Mariota,
yeah, exactly. And so didn't really feel that way sort of after a while. So I just jumped on the Justin Herbert bandwagon. I'm not afraid to admit it. And well, you've been watching, you know how it's turned out so far.
It's crazy, man. Like rookie of the year, and the excitement he's bringing to this team is so cool. And you've seen the kind of fan base change. There's just been a dynamic shift in the last couple of years. What are your thoughts on kind of, where we are as a fan base?
I seen him jump on during Coryell, then jump off and jump on, with Ross. Now I just want to let you guys know I got that feeling with Staley, and I just honestly think this is going to be the guy who brings us all the way across.
I'm excited, man. This year's crazy. This new defense, everything we got going on.
Right.
What are you most looking forward to this year? What is something you're, being a longtime Charger fan, what is something you're really excited for this season?
I'm looking forward to the Raiders game because my son is a Raiders fan, and the smack talk will be thick.
Yeah, you bring it. Teach him a lesson.
And I want to try to go down to San Francisco for the game, but it's all about the money.
Sure.
But wow, it's great times. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. And then, kind of a question we haven't done in a while, but I'd love to get your insight in on it. It would be like, if you could have meet and have dinner with one Charger player, any era, what is one guy you would love to just meet in person?
I'd probably want to go with LT.
Yeah.
And no particular reason other than it's LT. I'd want to see if they give the MVP trophy, I'd want to ask him to bring that. Yeah. And he'd have to pay dinner.
Oh, for sure. He's having dinner with Bill, for sure. He'd better pay. He's lucky to have dinner with you.
That's right.
That's right.
You know.
I know all about it. That's why you're on the show. I'm lucky to have you. We appreciate you, man. And so if we can get you down to SoFi, let us know if you're going to ever come to a game. We'd love to meet you in person, man. And it was an absolute pleasure having you. And we really appreciate your time, Bill.
Thank you very much. If I make it down there, I'm going to let everybody know.
Oh, scream it from the rooftops.
That's right. Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, just a bullhorn all the way down the freeway, all the way from Oregon to LA.
Bill Wilson has entered the building.
Yes, I love it. All right, man. Well, we appreciate your time. It was so great meeting you.
Okay, hey, family, trust, respect. And you know what? I've been waiting to say this ever since I started listening to you guys. Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye. Family, trust, respect as well.
I hope you're listening, LT, because you got to bring that MVP trophy. That's got to be like the centerpiece of the dinner, right? That's got to be able to like look over to be like, so how's your steak?
It's amazing, dude. When he first popped up when we met, because I don't meet them until we're doing it. I was like, oh my God, is this a Wooly? He looks exactly like your dad. I'm like, is this his long lost brother, Bill? His long lost wool dog? So
I'm sure he'll get a kick out of that.
Yeah, he was fantastic. I love meeting fans that have been fans of the team for that long. And
that was a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Just cool to hear all those stories.
Big time. Yeah. It's and to be a fan or to live in the Oregon area and to see the rising that is Herbert in person and to see him come to the Chargers. It's a special time. And it also the mention of Staley about just like feeling the greatness that is Staley and the trust that he's going to get us to some pretty special places. So, Bill, thank you again for coming on and chatting with my man, Kev.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, gang. Well, now it's time to go on to the next segment, Ask Boltfam. Let's go.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hi, guys. Don't jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do. I wet myself in excitement.
Oh, so hungry.
Your thoughts are like totally appreciated.
Catch you later, dude.
Okay, love you, boy.
That's right, gang. Time for another Ask Bolt Fam, and we start this one off with an old favorite, Boltville 714, who asked the question.
Hey, so last week I heard you vatos were hella down for the Bolt gang. Not that I'm doubting you guys, but I gotta sock check you fools. So my question is your socks as fly as mine? I didn't think so, fools, but that's okay. Mucho respect and love to you guys and the Bolt fam. As always, Bolt gang or do not bang and fuck those pirate hookers and their bitch-ass QB Derek Carr. Can't love you, bye.
I love, like, I was just thinking this. If somebody listens to this for the first time and just heard you do that voice without any explanation that this was requested, we're screwed.
Well, okay, funny. So yes, this was a requested voice, folks. I'll preempt that for the Cholo voice. But specific to the question, Boltville posted a picture of his killer socks. He's rocking some Joey Bosa leg warmers there, and they are pretty stylish, to say the least.
Pretty nice.
Yeah. So I can say that I don't own any Charger footwear, but I'm pretty sure you do.
Oh, I got some Herbert socks. And if you put your like feet together, it makes the whole head. So if you're like walking, it's separated. But when you put your feet together, you got a full Justin Herbert on your shin. So
you just got to click your heels three times.
Exactly. Yeah. I like them, Boltville, but I don't know. I think I might have to challenge you to Herbert sock off.
Sock off!
Oh, shit. They're pulling them up, boys.
Let's see them gams. Come on now. Fair fight.
Start hitting the calf raises and get ready for this thing.
Never skip calf day, my friend.
Never skip calf day.
Boltville 714, thank you for asking the question and showing off them gams. Let's move on now to the next question. Tom Telesco's burner account, who asked the question. If you were grilling after a win, what would you be grilling? Would it be on charcoal or propane? Also, I read a stat where the top 5 teams in third down avoidance last year were teams who either made it to the AFC Championship game, Super Bowl, or had a top 2 regular season record last year, that being Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, San Francisco, and Los Angeles Rams. Do you think Lombardi will be more aggressive on first and second downs now that we're in year 2 of Herbert Lombardi combo? Thanks for all the content, guys. K, love you. Bye. That was
God damn it,
Hank
Bobby. God damn it, Bobby.
All right. So, terrible Hank Hill impression aside,
interesting stat.
It is an interesting stat. Yeah. Apparently, teams that rank top 5 in third down avoidance, which is an interesting stat.
Yeah.
I've not heard that before. That's a unique
First
one.
And second. getting their shit done on first and second down. I think that's ideal. Ideal if you can do that.
I was going to say, does that just
open it up?
Does that just
that means
they're not aggressive?
Maybe, or just I don't exactly know how that lines out, but if you can get it done on the first 2 downs, you're not in third and long and dealing with that stuff. Like you're able to call different plays, you're able to run different things.
Right.
So let's sign me up for all of this, please. I would love to see Lombardi be able to pull this off, and I think we can. This offense, if we can get the running game going, it's going to change the dynamic of what our offense can be. Will we have the crazy Herbert numbers when he has to come back at the end of the game most of the time? Probably not. But we'll have some 1,000-yard, a 1,000-yard rusher at least, and then a couple guys that are picking up the slack and having some good seasons.
That would be awesome to see. Yeah, these guys, these top 5 teams are no joke as far as where they stand in the NFL. So it would be an interesting thing to see if the Chargers can pull it off. Tom Telesco's burner account, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Pudak 98.
Certified fresh. The way you said that, definitely certified fresh.
I don't know that I've ever said this word in my life. I hope I pronounced it right. Pudak 98. But you got a question and it goes like this.
Hey guys, longtime Charger fan way back to 1978. Fairly new listener to your pod. First, I have really enjoyed listening to you guys, and your pod has been my daily listen on my work commute. Well, good luck to you out there, Pudak98. All Charger all the time. My question is this. When drafting your fantasy team, is anyone as crazy anti-rival as I am? I absolutely cannot draft any players from the following teams: Chiefs, Raiders, Patriots, and Broncos. It would make me physically ill to pull for a player on those teams. My fellow fantasy owners in my league think I'm crazy. I would rather make a monetary donation to the league by not winning than to have any of those guys on my team. Thanks for the thoughts. F the Raiders, f the Chiefs, f the Patriots, and f the Broncos. Love you, bye.
Okay.
Good one. Oh, shit. Well, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate you listening, brother.
Yeah.
Really do.
Hope the commute's going good today. Yeah, I am with you on not drafting any anti-rival players.
I know what you're going to say. I don't want to talk about it. I made a mistake one year. It was a big time mistake. Okay. It was a big time mistake.
And because how did you feel? How did you feel after you did that?
Shit. As soon as I hit draft, I was like, this sucks. And I started to look for trades all over. Like I was willing to give him away for nothing. And it actually isn't that bad because he was only a Raider, didn't even make it to the season. So technically I didn't have a Raider on my team, but it was Antonio Brown. And I'm never doing that shit again. I will go with, so we're in some deep leagues where you have to get a running back, or you have to pick somebody up or do something. If the Chargers are ever playing one of my star players, they're on the bench. I'll bring in some sleeper, I could start whoever it is. I'll bring in some random guy to start that week because I love watching Charger games too much. I don't want the possibility of having to root for my guy on whoever's on my team on a third down to get a first down, and get a couple yards. I don't have it in me.
I'm with you on that. Although I will say that as deep as our teams are or our leagues are, I've never felt like I had to draft.
Well, you only draft Chargers, Adam.
I make it a point. I make it a point to draft as many Chargers as I can.
And it makes it hard for me because I don't get any, and then I'm stuck with other freaking running backs or tight end or something. Oh, stop!
Called a wambulance.
Stop it.
But I mean, there's 32 teams. If you avoid 4 teams, 3 AFC West rivals and one other, like the Patriots or something like that.
I don't draft AFC West players. I don't draft AFC West players, but even like players on other teams, not only AFC West, I will not start them against my team. It's not just AFC West. It's okay. And this is why I've never won a proper championship. because I'm too emotionally invested in my team to let that get in the way of smart roster decisions.
Right. Yeah, I am not just anti-rival. I am pro-Charger because the victories will taste that much sweeter when I've got 2 or 3 Charger guys that have helped me get those victories. So
you started Kelly a couple games last year, didn't you? Or Roundtree? You had one of those guys.
I probably started
that
Roundtree.
Didn't even play.
No, probably not, because I think I saw him get the 1 touchdown. I was like, okay, here we go. We're starting touchdown season. Here we go. And nothing after that. But
nope.
Hey, you win some, you lose some. Pudak98, thank you for asking the question. Good luck with your fantasy league. Let's move it on now to Ronnie Delgado, who asks the question. If you could take one defensive player from the past and put him on the current roster, who would it be, Pilgrim? My choice would be Junior Seau. Family, trust, respect. We've definitely had this particular question before, although I don't know if it's ever been specifically on the defensive side. So Junior Seau is definitely a favorite.
Yeah, I think just how dominant he was, that'd be an easy answer. But I think Jamal Williams was such a freaking insane nose tackle for us. And it's kind of where we've had some, I know we've addressed it this year, but that would be pretty sweet to shore that up even more and have him.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would have.
There's got to be a right tackle out there. Oh, it's defense.
Well, no, just defensive player. Yeah. So I'd say Sean Merriman. I would love to bring that kind of tenacity and ferocity to the team again.
He was a maniac at his prime.
Yeah. So there you go. Ronnie Delgado, thank you for asking the question. Love it. Let's move it on now to the next question. Gonk Droid 69, who asked the question. How much has our special teams improved? How did special teams rank last year, and what do you predict we rank this year? Well, I don't think we were necessarily the best.
We had sneaky moments where we had some returns and we did some good stuff with Roberts, but in general, and going back, because this question I saw it ahead of time and I wanted to go dig this up a little bit and see where it really ranked. There were a couple rankings and kind of like the stats of it all. Our punting was like the worst in the league. Both sides, like net punts. We were the worst with 36.5 yards. J.K. Scott is here now. Ty Long is gone. I was always kind of like, Ty Long, what's going on? This is evidence of why that probably happened. Inside the 20 punts, we were tied for worst. We only had 12 of those. And then punt returns, we were only, 5.9 yards. So, we brought in Carter, which hopefully will be an upgrade in those situations. But our coverage looked fairly decent. We weren't like in the bottom the way we were in some of these other categories. So I think if they address those or focus on those, which it appears they did, exactly that for punt returns, which I think Carter was one of the best in the league last year. He had like a very good average or was something close to that. So upgraded that. We'll see if we upgraded on punter, but definitely easy room for improvement for us to get even better at special teams, in my opinion.
Absolutely, 100%. And even looking at on the field goal side of things, we were ranked 9th out of all 32 teams as far as our field goal percentage. So,
and that was with the first couple games with Vizcaino when he was missing all of them. So that averaged in how much better we got.
Exactly. So now that we've got the kick man, he can certainly take us to bigger and better places, Mr. Hopkins. So
yes, sir.
I think we can definitely plan to see an improvement this upcoming season, but comparatively from last season and the season before, there's room for improvement. We'll say that over here at the Shamelessly Positive Charger Chat podcast.
Yeah, just a little bit.
A little bit. So Gonk Droid 69, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Hangry Seth, who asks a question. Thanks for picking me as a winner last week. Mucho appreciated. So here we go with this week's question. Who do you think is going to win the fullback battle? Justin's best bud Neighbors or the big bad Horvath? Until next week, my friends. Okay, love you, bye. All right, well, hey, we've got our third
What?
Yes,
Who?
we've got Coach.
When?
He's got an answer. For Hangry
When?
Seth, he's got an answer. For Hangry
What?
Seth. Let's go
Oh,
to
shit.
Coach.
Let's go.
For the fullback battle, I think Neighbors going to be in some trouble. I don't think you draft a fullback. And Neighbors wasn't even playing most of the games last year. He was inactive. If you can't even get on the field for special teams consistently as a fullback, it's going to be tough to make the team. So I think they're moving on to younger, cheaper blood. So bummer. I'm hoping he stays on as like a strength and conditioning consultant. Justin doesn't go into the front office to ask for players, but maybe he'll go in and ask for strength and conditioning advice from his protein fairy.
His protein fairy.
That's right. The protein fairy.
The victory brisket will not be the same. And will it continue if there's no relationship there? If he's on another team.
If there's no bro to share my brisket with.
Yeah.
If a brisket is cooked and no one's around to eat it, does it fill you up?
I don't know.
Buttercup.
Yeah, I think Coach is onto something here. It's kind of, he made a good point with not being able to consistently make special teams. Like, that's what those guys do. That's what Watt did for us. He was like their best special teams player. So Horvath, he's, young blood coming in wants his spot. So I don't know, but I'm kind of nervous about it because they always post some really good, content of Justin and him, and we'll see.
Absolutely.
Consultant sounds good.
Consultant would be good. I would like to, because I think that's one of the big things that we like about a lot of the players now is the relationships that they have with each other. And Neighbors has clearly been a big part of the relationship with our fearless leader, Justin Herbert. So
honestly, dude, Neighbors, like, just hang tight for like a couple years because Justin's going to be rolling in it soon. And then maybe he can just like, you hang out, make, do protein shakes, do briskets. Like, that should just be a full-time job.
There you go. Full-time brisketeer. Hangry
right.
Seth, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Mark Busnelli Jr., who asked the question.
Whoa! The nature boy coming straight at your dome piece, bitches! We all know that there's been a lot of flux within the division this offseason. Woo! Khalil, woo! Junior, double woo! Give me your shamelessly positive notable stats for each mother effing player. Woo, woo! Bolt the F up. K, love you, bye.
All right. Well, I misread the script. That was JC, not Junior. My apologies there, Mark Busnelli. But yeah, these guys are coming in hot.
They're studs.
They are absolute studs. So
Crazy studs.
I think, what do you think about Khalil? What's your prediction on him?
Well, I think his best year, he had 15 sacks, like his second year in the league, which is considerable.
It's a hefty amount, yeah.
He didn't have Joey Bosa on the other side of him,
Very true. Very true.
I'm going to go, this is conservative, 15 and a half.
Okay.
I think we're going to beat it by half a sack. That half is going to be shared with Joey. Okay? Joey and him are going to share that half.
All right.
That's why I thought he'll have his best sack season yet. And he's going to be, he'll be a Pro Bowler for sure.
Okay. Well, we know that JC has got the most interceptions out of any corner in the league right now. Many. He had more than the Chargers have had like all last season and just by himself. So I don't think he's ever broken double digits. So I would love to see the trend moving in the right direction.
And you can't give him a half an interception either.
I'm not going to give him a half. No, yeah. Let's go from 9 to 10. Let's say 10 interceptions. I don't think there's any reason. Again,
hot.
We're talking about these guys that have not been surrounded by the kind of talent that that they are currently surrounded with right now. So I really think it's possible. Only time will tell.
I'm just really excited to see what these sacks are going to look like. Like, I really am. Like, if those guys can be healthy, it's going to be so much fun to watch. And it's a toss-up each game, how the team scheme the different guy who they want to shut down more. And you're screwed. You don't, it's hard. If they're both healthy, maybe if one guy is dinged up and somebody finds out about it, they, give him the one-on-ones. But how do you decide that? How do you decide?
There's no way. It's just it's a toss up. So we'll see what the future brings, but this defense is absolutely going to be bonkers. I know that much. So Mark Busnelli Jr., thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to that one guy Q, who
So go slow. Go say it slow. I got to search. Certified Fresh.
Who asked the
Certified
question?
Does Gerald Everett have a breakout year with Herbert as his QB? Which players do you think will make the biggest impact as the season progresses?
Absolutely. Gerald Everett is in the talks to have a pretty big impact. I mean, we've seen his catching and running ability with, Russell Wilson as his quarterback. Now he's got Justin Herbert, who likes to throw to tight ends. So
he loved targeting him, especially Cook last year. He just didn't catch the ball. Cook didn't. Cook had had a great year. He just, as long as his hands are sure, and he's going to get a lot of work, a lot of balls thrown his way. So I think he could be a huge standout for this offense this upcoming year.
Absolutely. As far as other guys that we think could have some big impact, I mean, I'm gonna say somebody like Joshua Palmer could probably have a huge impact this year as far as his ability. I mean, we saw him last year didn't drop a pass.
Speaking of catching balls, yeah, he caught all of the balls for sure.
So I think if they can get a way to get him in the mix a little bit more, I think we can start to see some consistency with these guys and the lack of dropped ballage. So
yeah. Our defense is going to be so stacked. There's a lot of guys with potential to be like, wow, where did that come from? I think Nos Adderley is set up like he's surrounded by so many good players. If he can just get back to what he did in college and get some interceptions, he could have a huge year. Because there were a couple videos
100%.
going around last week of him flying around, just knocking running backs all over the place if they got into that secondary. So he's a tough dude. If he can catch the ball and have a couple picks, maybe J.C. Jackson will rub off on him a little bit and give him a little of that interception love, and he could be really good this year, especially later as the season goes.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll find out. But that one guy, Q, thank you for asking the question. Yeah, thanks for coming. Let's move it on now to Fire Telesco, who asked the question.
If the Raiders scored 30 or more plus points on game one on this improved defense, is it time to panic?
Well, I don't know. Let's check with the coach. Coach, should we panic?
Back.
This is a response to if the Raiders scored 30, time to panic. No, because if we scored 31, we still got that dub, and that's all that matters. Honestly, as long as our defense is good enough to win football games, which we weren't a lot of the times last year, I'm not panicking. We can win the Super Bowl with an offense that scores 40 a game. Now, there's no way that the Raiders are going to score 30 points in week one. If they do, will I be happy? No, but I'm not going to panic. If we're getting wins against the AFC West, that's all I care about. So no, I'm not going to push the panic button. We can get dubs. There's going to be off weeks. It's inevitable. So as long as we get that W, I don't care how many points the other team scores. But I guess a little bit, but not panic worthy.
Well, we're going to be at that game, so they better not score 30 points. I know that's not going to happen. I just don't see a world where that happens.
They really won't. I mean, and honestly, week one, regardless of any situation, is never the time to panic. I mean, look at some of the teams that had some rough starts last year and ended up making their way deep into the playoffs. So
sure,
the week one is not the time to panic. I would be concerned. I would wonder what's going on, but no, I don't think that's the time to panic. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No,
sorry.
They put out the good vibes, good energy that this will not happen into the universe, and it won't happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everybody say a little prayer, please.
Get the crystals, guys. Let's line these up. Let's do all the stuff we need to do.
Get your Derek Carr piñatas out.
On
Put
3.
some little candles
1,
around.
2, candy.
Boom. Right.
Yeah, there's going to be a Derek Carr piñata at the tailgate week 1. That's happening.
Yeah, that was not the lone piñata, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
So,
no.
Fire Telesco, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Ed Boyum, who asks the question.
Crikey, you're each stranded on your own deserted islands. Which 3 Chargers, players or coaches, do you choose to be stuck with you? We're in the thick of the off-season, lads, so let's have some fun, shall we?
All
Nice.
right. 3.
I actually, this is a good question. I heard this on the Chargers podcast. They did a mailbag, and this was a question.
Oh, okay. That was probably Ed Boyum that asked him over there too. He's asking all the podcasts.
Spread them out. That would be kind of funny if there was like a Q&A on like most of the podcasts on the same week. If you could get the same question in on every podcast, that'd be pretty sick.
You could do a mashup video on everybody's answer.
Super mash. So
Insta mash. All right. So 3 Chargers players or coaches do you choose to be stuck with you?
I'm going to go with, I'll start. I don't know his name, but the equipment manager feels like a good pick. Right?
I love it.
I feel like he would have a setup for success. The equipment manager will have what we need. We might be running around an island with helmets with really awesome Oakley visors.
Sure, yeah.
But there's got to be some kind of fire-inducing element that he, maybe, you know how they like buffer the balls to like sand them down?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you can create a spark with that and get a little fire going. You know what I mean?
Okay, sure, yeah.
Feel me?
I feel you. The equipment manager. God knows what his name is, but he's coming.
I'm looking. You do yours while I look.
All right. Well, I think mine's going to be the obvious one, I think, which is Brandon Staley. He's got to be with me. He's got to be the one to help motivate, crack the whip, but let us know that we're not going to die. It's going to be okay. We're going to get through this, and we're all going to feel better for it. So he's going to be my motivator, the guy that I lean on when times are looking rough. I look to Brandon Staley to get me back into it.
Nice. All right. Well, the only news I can find about Chargers equipment manager is that we fired one in 2021 or 2017. So not that one, the new one is who I want. So if you know who he is, this
not
is
the
all
old model, the most recent model.
New model.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. But all due respect, I'm not trying to be dismissive or anything. But if you know who he is, I'd high five.
High five.
Digital
He's
high five.
coming with us to a deserted island. Let's have some fun.
Get on board. Let's go. Third. So you had one, I had one. You know what? What you really need is kind of a fun and lighthearted kind of energy.
Sure. Got to keep
Who
it
better
positive
than somebody to do play-by-play of the day? Matt Money Smith. Bring him on. I know he's not a coach technically, but he is a employee
player
of the Chargers. He does coach us on what we need to know during broadcasts, okay? I think because of walking around, you always like to have your own music. Like you think about having your own music, like your theme song for the day. What if he's just like giving you like the play-by-play of what's going on? That could be kind of entertaining.
It'd be like, Matt, shut up and fucking help us. Oh my God.
Just walking around with like a makeshift like bullhorn made out of like, a tree or something. And he's just, that would be
Brandon Staley's
really
talking to Wool Dog right now. Not sure what they're talking about, but I think they might be trying to figure out how to light a fire. What do you guys think? And he's talking to nobody.
I take it back. That would be terrible.
Let's see. I would probably pick okay.
What you got?
Okay.
Oh, I like you got excited. What did you got?
All right. So what player is currently on our team that lived on an island? It wasn't deserted, but lived on an island.
Breiden Fehoko.
There you go. I'm talking, give me Breiden Fehoko. Give me the big guy that's going to help with the heavy lifting, that's going to help with the building, that's going to maybe have a little bit of experience living on an island.
We need to get pumped up too. Same kind of energy. The haka, just to start the day with a haka, get the energy
Everybody
going.
Gather around. Let's start the day with a haka.
This motherfucker. Let's go.
That's right.
Go.
Give me the haka.
All right, cool, done.
I'm all about motivation and equipment.
We got the equipment, we got the guidance, and now we have Fehoko, who just knows the island.
So we'll see. Hey, what do you guys think? Who would you want on your deserted island? Let us know down in the comments. All right. Ed Boyum, thank you for asking the question. And we go out of Ask Boltfam with Schick Soto, who asked the question.
Tommy T gave Rivers the green light to come back to the Chargers. But Rivers wants one of two positions, backing up Herbo or QB's coach. Hoo-ha! Rivers wants the Charger Chat gang to choose for him. What are you picking, boys? Random voice. K-love you, bye. Fuck the Raiders. Bolt up.
Oh, that's a good question. I think it would
This
be
is
it
a
would be
fantastic question. But
it'd be
before you
too
answer,
difficult. Oh,
before
what?
you answer, we've got to
What?
go to the coach.
Oh, he's back again?
He's back again.
Oh shit.
All right, final one is the answer to Shik Soto. If Phil came back to some capacity, I don't want to see him as the backup QB. That's just sad. You know, like, you don't take one of the greatest of all time and let him just sit there. I would much rather him just be the QB coach, be on the staff for like 85 years, and just always be a part of the Chargers, as opposed to, that's sad. I feel like that's sad. Like, he is QB1. You can't have him on there as QB2 and just holding the clipboard. He clearly doesn't need the money to do something like that. So, yeah, I would definitely all day pick QB coach.
Wow, he steals my answers when he's not even here. That's great. Awesome, coach. Thanks. But yeah, I agree. Completely agree with that.
I agree too. I think it's an interesting question because you would like, obviously we would want Papa Phil to get himself a ring, and getting it like as a player, even as a backup, would be just sweet for him to have. But I definitely think that, yeah, like it is interesting that Phil, you know, there's some quarterbacks that kind of like linger a bit too long as like backup guys that are like, yeah, come on, man. Like,
but
yeah, you were a starter
really,
for a while, but
yeah, there's never
anymore.
really that many starters that like just take the role of backup. You know what I mean? It's usually backup guys that get promoted or backup guys that have a great season. They go Nick Foles style, win a championship, and then get paid by another team and he doesn't do anything.
Right.
Like that's usually what happens. Like starting guys don't usually jump into that because he's too much of a dog. He's Phillip Rivers. He's competitive as shit. Like he would not do well as a backup quarterback. So I'll go QB coach so they can work together. It works better. I'd have a hard time not wanting Phil to play if he was there. Does that make sense?
Sure. Well, I mean, maybe he's the break the glass in case situation.
Yeah.
Like, but I think him bringing his knowledge and instilling that into Herbert would just be beautiful. That would just be poetic.
He's going to go win a few state championships with this high school team, though.
Which is fine.
I'm all for that. I wish I could watch some of his games. I wish they were like streaming, like live on
broadcast.
I would absolutely
like
watch that.
Yeah. That would be
100%.
really fun. Oh man, especially if they cut to him on the sideline barking at the kids.
Yeah, yeah. Talking shit to the kids. That'd be fantastic.
If you know where we can watch Big Papa Phil's,
and we'll pay
games.
for a mic. We'll pay to send a microphone so he's mic'd up, and you just put it on your camera and you send that feed out for all of us to hear.
Oh man, let's go to the Phil Rivers cam just for the whole game. I don't care what how the game's going.
Yeah.
Bobby, get over here. This is horse mess. Shik Soto, thank you for asking the question. And thank you everybody for asking questions and Ask Boltfam. We really appreciate it. I think that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Any final thoughts there, Kev?
No, miss you. I mean, I'm overseas right now, so it's very, very late and I'm probably going to go to bed now.
Okay. Well, yes, it's a beautiful thing. It's 2022 and we can have a podcast chatting with a guy
1,000 miles away
who is very far.
Yeah.
But we can have this conversation. It's wonderful. I love it. Can't wait for you to get back. But that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat, folks. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you, boy.
And now, a word from our sponsors. Tonight on CBS, he was from the streets.
Not that I'm doubting you guys, but I gotta sock check you fools.
He was from the entertainment industry.
Oh, I got some Herbert socks. And if you put your like feet together, it makes the whole head.
Will they find common ground, or will their love of socks get the better of them?
Sock off!
Oh shit, they're pulling them up, boys.
For one night only, find inspiration in the least likely of places. Sock Off, only on CBS.